Hello everyone, this is SMD Mazharul Haq, Assistant Professor, Triple Department, ISL Engineering College, and I am dealing the subject utilization of electrical energy. And in this subject, we are having a topic called train lighting system. So this train lighting system is being used in the traction trains. So we say that the traction has the train lighting system, and we will see that the train lighting system is given the supply from which source we will discuss here, and how this particular source supply is being utilized for the traction purpose also we will discuss here, and what are the different methods are being used for supplying the lighting in the train. And also we have in the previous classes we have seen about the illumination, and also the illumination is also a term that is to be given stress or given importance here, because the illumination is also matters a lot when we are giving a lighting system to the train. So let's go into the topic now. So the introduction of the train lighting system is like, the train lighting system is one of the important passenger amenities which influence the image of the railways. So if the image of the railways is to be seen, then what happens is whenever the lighting is given proper to the train, then the passengers amenities are being utilized properly, and therefore it influences the image of the railways. And one more thing is, the first train that was ran on 16th April 1953 here in India, it was in 1930. So we will see here that the first train which was ran is 16th April 1853. But during this time, the Indians did not have the Indian Railways, and into the Indian Railways, it was established in 1930 to the axle driven dynamo. And the third point here to remember is the power supply. The power supply system for trains is designed and developed to suit the requirement of AC and non-AC working of the trains. So here, if you see the power supply system, we are giving the stress to the power supply system here. So this power supply system of our trains is designed and developed to suit the requirement of AC and non-AC working in trains. So we can see AC as well as non-AC, and depending upon the AC and non-AC working of the trains, we will be having the power supply given to the trains. So if you come back to the few factors considered for development of such systems is like we are having the coach load and the speed of the train, weight of the equipment, and available technology for reliable equipment, etc. So these are the factors that are considered for development of such systems. Like we are supplying the power supply system for different AC and non-AC working in the trains. So we require some factors that are to be considered for the development of the system that are supplying the power to the trains. So that is the coach load. A coach load, how much the power it consumes. The load. Suppose a coach is having some fan and light and other things. How much load it is being taken by the coach, and also the speed of the train is also a matter, because the speed of the train matters a lot, because you can see here that the speed of the train is again connected to the power supply system, where the supply will be given to the train with the help of the pantograph and etc. So weight of the equipment. So here the weight of the equipment also is considered, because if the weight is not proper, then weight is more, then the lighting will be affected here, as well as the available technology for reliable equipment, etc. Nowadays, with the advent of latest things what we are having here, so we will be seeing that these things are now being utilized in the lighting purpose in the trains. The types of generations in the trains is the self-generating, as well as you are having the mid-on generation and end-on generations. These are the types of generations that we are using here, and we will be discussing about this, and we will be having different types of generations, head-on generation as well as self-generating systems, and all these things are to be discussed here. And later we will discuss about benefits in this system and how this system being affected, we will see there. So first of all, we will see the self-generating system here. About the self-generating system, it is an axle driven system. It is a axle driven system here. This is the axle driven system, as well as it is working on how much voltage is. It is 24 volts DC and 110 volts DC. 24 volts DC and 110 volts DC. It is the range of this working of the self-generating system. And when we are coming to the mid-on generation, and we are talking about the mid-on generation, this mid-on generation is also a type of generation where we will be having this supply of 415 volts. It is a three-phase generation, and it is also having 110 volts AC utilization, 110 volts of the AC utilization. So the previous one was 110 volts DC, and now the mid-on generation is 415 volts three-phase generation with 110 volts AC utilization. Another is the end-on generation. What is this end-on generation? The end-on generation is 415 volts three-phase generation and 110 volts AC utilization. So this AC utilization is both in mid-on generation and end-on generation, as well as you will be having here 415 volt three-phase generation, and the mid-on generation is a combination of this end-on generation as well. And EOG with 750 volts is the higher version, where you are taking the three-phase generation and 415 volts and 110 volts AC utilization. So the utilization 110 volts AC utilization is same, as well as the generation is 750 volts is different for these two things. Where here I am having 415 volts three-phase generation, and here we are having 750 volts three-phase generation. Now coming to the other topic, the types of generations, we are still having head-on generation. What is this head-on generation? So this head-on generation is the topic where you will be having power feeding from OHE for lighting loads, and that is being categorized as 750 volts DC light and fan works on 110 volts DC here, and 1500 volts DC the light and fan works on 110 volts AC, and 25 kilovolts light and fan works on 141 volts AC. So if you talk about this, now we are having this 750 volts DC light and fan works on this 110 volts DC here, and this 1500 volts DC is also there, but light and fan works on 110 volts AC. Here the power feeding OHE, that means we are using some separate type of pantographs to give the supply. From the DC we are collecting this one, and we are using an inverter here again, and this inverter is converting the DC to AC. This is one type of power feeding, and here we are having 25 kilovolts from the high voltage transmission lines. We are having 25 kilovolt supply, and therefore light and fan works on 141 volts AC. This is also one type of generation that is called as head-on generation. The power feeding from head-on generation for hotel loads like loco. The hotel load is power is taken from electric diesel locomotive, and the hotel load power supply can taken directly from OHE through a separate pantograph mounted on the power car. So in the beginning of the train there is a power car, and from the power car we are having a pantograph. As discussed in the previous units, the pantograph collects the supply and gives it to this particular hotel loads of for this OHE or head-on generation. We call it as a head-on generation, and this is the pantograph mounted on the power car. For this purpose we are using this power car and pantograph for feeding the power for hotel loads. And next one is self-generating system. What is a self-generating system? This self-generating system is a system where you will be having the power supply arrangement of the self-generator, and self-generator coach. It has slung alternator also, and which is driven by running axles of the coach with the belt of the coach here. The voltage of alternator, which varies with the speed of train, is regulated with the help of a regulating unit and converted to the 110 volts DC. It is converted to 110 volts DC here and used for charging the battery here. So in the self-generating system, it is aware that we are having a battery also here, and this battery is being charged with the up to the 110 volt DC, and electric load of the coach is supplied through 110 volt DC battery at the halts. So this is the thing we are discussing now, and the advantages of this self-generating system is the system is independent of the mode of traction. Why? Because there is no pantograph etc. here to collect the supply from the overhead lines, and it is a coach. This one has the coach has every coach has a battery, and no additional source is also required here, and therefore the problem defect in any particular coach does not affect the other coaches, and the system can be designed to suit the specific requirements and therefore it gives better flexibility in rake formation. Majority of SD type coaches is more. So these are the advantages of this system. The disadvantages. Now we will talk about the disadvantages. The electrical load of the coach is restricted by the limitation of the capacity of the generation, that is, it is having 2.25 kilowatts per coach at present, and therefore the power is not generated during the standing or slow movement of train. Therefore bulky batteries are provided here, and there is no standby source for alternator and batteries, so the system becomes very poor reliable. The system requires the extensive maintenance of alternator, batteries, belts and tensioning devices, etc. All these are the disadvantages, as it will be more mechanical strength will be involved, as well as mass will be more of the train, and therefore the efficiency will be dropped down to 57% of the power received from the locomotive. After the self-generating system, we are having here the circuit diagram, basic circuit diagram of self-generating system here, and we will be discussing about the self-generating system basic circuit diagram now. So seeing this self-generating system, we are having here the self-generating system, as well as this is the supply where you are having 4.5 kilowatts brushless alternator here. This is the 4.5 kilowatts brushless alternator, and this is the rectifier. This is the rectifier where we are using, and this is the thing where positive and negative terminals are there. Positive terminal and negative terminals. These positive and negative terminals are there for, because the whatever it is the AC supply is converted to DC here, and the DC supply is being given to this fuse, and from this fuse, 32 ampere fuse, what we are doing is here the this battery is being used here, and the battery, from the battery we are charging this battery and giving to the loads like fan, bulbs and lights, etc. We are giving them to the loads here with proper circuit breakers and proper relays we are using here, and we are having this particular thing called as the load, and these batteries are being used here, and this battery is separate one for every coach. Everywhere there is a battery in every coach, and this battery needs to be charged for up to the 110 volts DC, and from 110 volt DC it is being supplied to the various output devices. Okay, so next is the end-on generation system. What is the end-on generation system? So each end-on generation train has two power cars with two numbers of DA sets in each. The power is fed by any two DA sets through IVC. The power is supplied at three phase, and therefore 750 volts, which is the step down, an individual goes to three phase, 415 volts for supplying various loads like RMPU, etc. The 110 volts AC supply for lights and fans is obtained by further stepping down the 415 volts to some lesser voltage, and 24 volts battery is used for supplying to emergency lights provided in the coach. So this is the scenario of the end-on generation system. So this is the scenario of the end-on generation system, where the power is supplied at three phase, and the 750 volts is stepped down to a very reliable 415 volts for supplying various loads, and therefore the 110 volts AC supply for lights and fans is obtained by further stepping down this 415 volts to some 110 volts AC, and therefore a 24 volts battery is used for supplying few emergency lights provided in the coach. So here one rectifier is also used, and also the AC supply is acting as a source here. And if you see here, the advantages are the system does not require the use of bulky batteries and alternators as individual coaches here, but the system has a higher reliability through standby DA sets and reduced number of equipments. Due to an elimination of heavy equipment, the dead weight of the coach is also reduced. This is one of the advantage, and the system is independent of type of traction and also diesel or electric locomotive here. It is free of these things, and the system has better energy efficiency as compared to the self-generating system, and it is having a very low maintenance. These are the block diagram or circuit diagram of the end-on generation system. Here you can see that you are having a diesel engine, where you are having the diesel engine, and from the diesel engine you are giving the alternator. From the alternator you are having this choke, and from there you are giving to the feeder here, and feeder to the different type of coaches. Now we are operating only diesel engine A here, but not diesel engine B. If the diesel engine A is operating, but then by the bus coupler, we are making this bus coupler to link with this particular other side of this particular diesel engine B, and whatever the coaches need the supply is being given from this diesel engine A part only. This A part is only used here. One is used as standby and other is being used as the for supplying for the coaches. And the power car coach has also had one 3-phase 30 kilowatts step down transformer. This step down transformer being used here, and there it is step down to 110 volts AC supply through to coaches through couplers here. So here also the couplers are being used in mid-on generation system, like on an end-on generation system we are using the mid-on generation system, also we are using the couplers. So these couplers will be the similar way being utilized like in the end-on generation system will be utilizing, and therefore it was being discontinued of introduction of new services like EMU and DMU services. This EMU and DMU services came into this picture, and mid-on generation system was being discontinued. Now we are talking about the advantages. What are the advantages of this system? The system was more suitable for slow moving branch like line passenger trains. Light and fan of all coaches had centralized control in power car coach, and therefore the fan and lights were working on AC supply. There is no need for a standby battery in the coaches. As in the other type of systems we used standby batteries, here there is no need of a standby battery. And the disadvantage, there were noise and smoke pollution as it is, because DA generators were used, and therefore the operator was required to power car coach. It is a somewhat money spending activity, and therefore some valuable passenger spaces were occupied, because the passenger has to be given place there, but the DA sets were given the place for standby also. It were DA sets were given the place. So these are disadvantages and advantages also discussed about the mid-on generation system. We are talking about the head-on generation system. The head-on generation system is widely used power supply by railways all over the world, and the power supply system for coaches is here received from the locomotive, or it is directly tapped from traction to overhead lines into the power cars. The system is considered to provide cost-effective, reliable and energy efficient supply per system for the coaches. The HOG scheme can be considered with the following two options. That head over generation is the name. HOG scheme can be considered for following options. That is, the total load power is taken from electrical diesel locomotive, and total load power supply taken from directly from OHE through separate pantograph mounted on the power car. Okay. So here two options are there. One, you can use the diesel locomotive, other you can use the overhead line, and whichever is feasible and economical is better suited for the purpose. The second system is not considered technically feasible because Indian Railways, because due to the limitations. In the head-on generation system, this is a diagram of the head-on generation system. In this head-on generation system, we are having this particular transformer as shown in the arrow here. The traction transformer we call it, and here you are having the symbols T, 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 and these are the traction windings for traction converter, and these are the auxiliary winding named as the A for auxiliary winding, and also you are having H here, and this is the H, nothing but we are having the type of the transformer supply given here is auto transformers are given as two types, because we are bridging here like auto transformers, and these auto transformers variably give the total load converter, and the converter gives the supply to the 750 volts 3-phase source to the total load, etc. And this is being utilized here by use of this converter as well as auto transformer from the traction transformer to this particular transformer, where you are using auto transformer as well as the total load converter, from where you are using the 3-phase source to the total load. Now head-on generation system, the advantages of head-on generation system is advantage is cheaper cost of power as compared to the other type of systems, and pollution is less as compared to the EOG system, and one power car may be replaced by trailer coach, revenue will be increased, and escorting the staff will be reduced to one power car, as well as the net dead weight of the train is reduced as compared to self-generating system. So it doesn't have any equipment inside, very heavy equipment, so that the dead weight also reduces for a train. Now the HOG type AC coaches can be used in EOG type trains. head-on generation type trains also we can use this as coaches, so it doesn't get wasted. This system is compatible with diesel electric traction, and the maintenance cost of HOG system coaches is lower as compared to the self-generating system coaches. Now talking about the disadvantages is while working with electric locomotive, there are power interruptions for short durations to various electric equipment except for lights while through the neutral section. One power car is still required for supplying the power during failure of the overhead line and locomotives, etc. The HOG head-on generation system type coaches require take integrity of coaches similar to EOG system. So this is a disadvantage of that, where you will be having these particular disadvantages of this head-on generation system. So students, we have discussed about the different types of systems which are being utilized here for the train lighting system, and we have seen how the bulky were in the self-generating system, and later on how the systems improved and how the changes were given, and also how we utilize the DC and AC supplies and how we step down the supply for our basic necessities, and therefore these all train lighting system is being discussed here now. And in the next class we will discuss about the other type of systems that are being prevailing in Indian Railways. Until then I will stop here and continue the next class. Thank you.